By Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon as we are live once again from Alumni Hall here in Fayetteville, 3417 North College Avenue. We come here once a month, and hey, we figure there was no better time to come here than for the Super Regionals. So come by and see us. If you come by and use that promo code HOGSBY20, you get 20% off your purchase. Also enter in for a raffle because you'll have some great giveaway stuff, one of them being a bombastic hat. We even got some cool like decals you can put on your truck or on your Yeti cooler or on your face, whatever you want to do here for Inside Arkansas. But fellas, you know, we've been busy. We've been on location places, but it's great to be back here at Alumni Hall, surrounded by Razorback gear, getting ready for a Super Regional weekend.
I've been waiting for this all week, man. The week itself was kind of a drag because you're trying to get from one high of the regional weekend to the next one, which is finally here. I'm excited. It was a little nasty this morning. Did you guys get woken up by the storm?
I did.
I did for sure. But it looks like, after this evening a little bit, then we might, knock on wood, be okay there. After all that, Andrew, they're going to play ball.
Yeah.
So no, man, I'm feeling good. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Always love coming out here. It sets the tone. It really does, and we need to go back and maybe look at our record after we've done shows.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
But in terms of the vibes, it always gives me good vibes when I'm here at Alumni Hall.
It's definitely always a good vibe. Imagine how depressing this would have been, though, had Arkansas gotten bounced in the regional. And we were just like doing this show here in our merch, and we were just like, we probably have to have on football merch because that would be
deep
the next
in football
game.
talk. Yeah,
it would really be. We'd be talking about the summer portal and all. It was like, okay, this sucks, but we don't have to do all that. The vibes are good for Arkansas baseball. Cannot wait to go out there and see the boys practice in a little bit. Can't wait to watch them play tomorrow. I'm tired of talking about it, man. The rain definitely put me in a little bit of a sour mood, but I want our fans, our beautiful fans, to know that I'm not salty in a Razorback context. I'm just in a against the world mentality today, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes people poke the bear and it riles us up. I'm riled up today, but I'm not riled up in the context of Arkansas still getting the job done this weekend, but if I'm feisty today, that's why.
Poking the bear is like poking the pig. You just don't do it and get away with it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because honestly, I don't know what you'd rather do, poke the bear, poke the pig. I think if you poke the pig, you don't really know what's going to happen to you. I think if you poke the bear, they may not feel it, but the pig will always feel it, and they'll come after you, and there's nothing worse than a squealing pig running after you either way. But, so let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. I've been having my bat, my wood here, if you would, here on the shows. But, classic Curtis Wilkerson can't just let it go, can't let me have my thing. He's always got to one-up me, so Curtis decided to bring his wood, and his wood is slightly bigger than mine. So, but great, Curtis. Thank you for that. I'm so glad that you could bring in your wood and all that.
Andrew's woodless.
Yeah, well, that's okay. He doesn't have to. He doesn't. He's got it all the time. His body, he's made of wood.
I'm happy to share. I just wanted to see what all the fuss was about.
Yeah. Well, that's an impressive chunk you got
there,
man.
Yeah, seriously.
My wood's throwing on Sunday.
I love that.
I didn't need to bring him into Alumni Hall. He's got better things to do.
Yeah. Well, give us the backstory, by the way, of this. Where'd you get this?
Yeah. So when I was working at Lindenwood in the athletic training room, and I worked with the baseball team, we had an assistant coach who crafted these things like actual wooden bats, but then made a mini one for us and brought it to us in the athletic training room. So I've been cleaning out my garage because we're going to kind of turn it into. We need to clean it out anyway, but kind of turn that into like an exercise room so we can have that room for the baby and all that. But I didn't realize how much stuff I stole from that university. Hey, they were shutting down, man, when we got out of there. Like COVID completely shut the doors. I took so much stuff. I found all kinds of gems, all of our old basketball team photos. I got all kinds of stuff. I got 50 boxes of ankle tape. If you guys ever, in need, I can take care of you. But
Good.
Yeah, man, this is it's pretty cool. Used to threaten students with it and stuff, so
Yeah.
Did you ever?
You're late for your rehab.
Have I ever told you about how I got paddled when I was a senior in high school, and it was like a wood.
They were still
paddle.
doing that in your day, eh?
Yeah.
Really?
So what's funny is the principal that was the principal when I was in high school. He was also my principal in elementary school, and I remember when we were in elementary school, it was like a thing where it was like you don't want. And he was also the powerlifting coach. This dude was jacked.
Yeah.
And it was like you don't want to go to Mr. Urbina's office and get paddled. And like when you're 10, 12 years old, that was like a serious threat. But I got in trouble for sneaking onto a field trip that I wasn't supposed to go on to. Didn't get my permissions at the slime, but I snuck on anyway. And I got in trouble, and they were like, "Hey, you got to come after school on Saturday," or it's like one of those Saturday detention things.
Oh, it was the worst.
And I was like, "I can't do that. I got a baseball game." And he was like, "All right, well then, you can either like do some other thing, or you can do the the corporal punishment." And I was like, when's the last time that like it's like the right to duel. It's like nobody even knew you could do that. I'm like, I'll take that instead. And so got paddled, spanked my booty.
Oh man,
when I was 18 years old.
That's pretty terrible. Because
my mom had to sign off on it.
I guess Fayetteville public schools. There was never paddling ever in my school system ever when I was growing up.
That's crazy, man.
Fayetteville
Because we're the same age, and that was like the way to get punished. Honestly, our way to get out of detention and not have to like miss practice after school or whatever is you would trade it in for licks. Right. Which is really weird that's what they call it, but like you could get 3 licks with the paddle instead of
I can't remember if I got 3, but dude, I remember they had to have like the secretary was in there, the SRO officer was in there too. Yeah. Like they had to have everybody watch it. And it was weird because like I was 18 years old. Like it was kind of crazy. But like my mom worked at the school, which is funny that I didn't get my permission slip signed for the field trip when my mom was the librarian. But I just remember like it was me and my buddy, and like they called his dad. The principal was like friends with my buddy's dad, so he just called him. He's like, "Hey, I'm whipping Jesse's ass. I'm just letting you know." And then like they called my mom in the library, and they were like, "Miss Ellis, is it okay? Just want to sign off. Is it okay if we paddle your son?" And she's like, "Sure."
Oh, yeah. See,
do what you got to do.
Yeah. See, I didn't have paddles at school. My parents had it. My dad had a fraternity paddle, and that's what I got. That thing. When I was a kid, I thought that was like the biggest like samurai warrior sword of all time. And I got older, and it was like literally like this bat, but flat. So.
I would not want to get paddled with Curtis's bat.
No, because that's not a paddling. That's like literally assault. I mean, people go to jail over those things. So either way, great start to the show as we got all the important things out of the way here. But obviously, we're going to have a lot of things to get into here today. We're going to have best and worst of the week presented by our friends over at Looper Auction and Realty. We'll have a little vibe checking of the chat presented by our friends at Basis Health. And, of course, get into a little bit of the weekend prep for considering BetSaracen. Again, live at Alumni Hall here in Fayetteville, 3417 North College Avenue. If you come by, use that promo code HOGSBY20. You get 20% off your purchase. And we're going to tell you more about that as the show goes on. But here we are, guys. I know it's game day eve, if you will, for the Razorback baseball team taking on Tennessee tomorrow. Looks like the weather is getting better. Looks like it's going to be all right as far as when first pitch actually happens at 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So we'll see how all that plays out. But I know that Andrew, you've been talking about it. I know we've been talking about it. It's finally to that point where it's like, all right, everything needs to just shut up. Let's just get into the game. Let's just have baseball get played. We know about the matchups. We know about the connections. We know about the Tony V and DVH. Like we know all that stuff already. Let's just actually get to the game and let's see mano a mano which team's going to come out on top.
Yeah, it's definitely like a little bit of one of those things where the anticipation is like at an all-time high. It's like you just need the game to happen. There's not much to talk about. We've already seen these teams play. We know all the players. We know all the matchups on both sides. There's not a lot of like question marks. It's just like, hey, both of these teams are good. Both of them are bringing their wood. Let's see who's bigger. It's just that situation. Like there's not a bunch of nuance that goes into this. Liam Doyle's going to come out there and he's going to throw 99 with a 90-mile-an-hour slider. Can you hit it? You hit it once. Can you hit it again? And we know who's throwing for each team. We know who these teams want on the mound in these situations. I think it's very exciting, but I think it's also cool about that time of year of like where you don't have to do the questions of question level of competition. Have they seen anything like this? Are they going to be prepared for that? It's just two teams that we know are very good, two teams that we know are capable of winning it all, and someone's got to go home, and it ain't going to be us.
Mm-hmm. I also want to ask the question too, and I'm going to phrase this the right way, but it doesn't matter because people are going to get pissed anyways. If Arkansas was to lose this series, what's the reason going to be? Is it going to be because of not having the starting pitching? Is it going to be something simple as that? Is it going to be the mistakes that they made? Like, what's going to keep Arkansas from going to Omaha? Pretty much right here.
I would say Tennessee. If those power arms at Tennessee are able to shut down this offense, and shutdown's probably a stretch. Like nobody's getting shut down in this matchup. I think. Both these offenses are so explosive. This time of year, the ball likes to travel a good bit. I think both teams are going to score, but I think it's going to come down to, look, like I said, we know the guys who are going to be on the mound for both teams. We know who's going to come into the games in what situations. It's just a matter of which teams get those big-time outings, whether it's from the starters, whether it's from the relievers. I mean, each team has, top 100 prospects coming out of the bullpen in this series. And so I think it's going to come down to which pitching staff can really limit a high-powered offense. But again, we always do the thing where when someone hits a home run, we sit there and say, okay, so does our pitcher suck or does that? And it's like, really in this situation, it's like nobody's bad. Someone's got to lose. And so it's going to be fascinating, but I think it's going to come down to who, and as it always is in postseason baseball, who finds that pitcher that gets a groove and can really – I mean, you got 27 innings of baseball. a lot of them are going to feature runs. Which pitcher can just buy you 5 or 6 innings where you don't have to relax? You don't have to really make these decisions and think about who you need to go to next.
I wonder about, because especially if they're not pitching on the same day, and I don't know if we'll find that out today or in the morning or what that looks like, but it to me, it would, if Arkansas was going to lose, why would it happen? It would be as simple as you don't get good root to set the tone for the series, and then Tennessee gets good Liam Doyle in game 2, the end. I mean, it could be that easy. So we'll see what happens, man. But I don't know. I'm not as nervous as I thought I would be, but I don't know. I just don't have a feel for how this is going to go. I really don't.
Yeah, because it could go a bunch of different directions. But I like what you said and what you said, Andrew. And the key to all of this is it's not about, well, if Arkansas loses because Tennessee does this, there's always that caveat of like, well, Arkansas has to do this too. You have to have not good Zach Root. You have to have something that you do wrong. And it's nice to be in that position because I always said about Alabama football forever when Nick Saban was there. If Arkansas was ever going to beat Alabama, no matter what game it was going to have to be a game where Alabama played bad and you played good. That was the only way you felt like you have a chance. And obviously the distance between Arkansas and Tennessee is not the same as Arkansas and Alabama was most years in football. But it's still kind of the same concept where if Arkansas is going to lose this series, it's going to be because something Arkansas did bad. Something that one of these players did not. Because even if both teams play their A game, Arkansas is still going to win. Still going to win the series. And it's just nice to still have that confidence where if you don't have a pitcher that's that great, don't worry. You got other ones that could step up. If you got somebody struggling in the hitting department, don't worry. You got other ones that can pick them up. It's just nice to be able to have that element to it where, hey, if you just play good, you'll win the series. You'll go to Omaha, and we'll be hanging out up there at DJ's dugout next weekend. It's as simple as that. So it's a good feeling, though. It's a good feeling. Have some confidence, Razorback fans. I understand the PTSD, but have some confidence. Feel good. Your team looks good.
Have some confidence and excitement. And again, like I said, if whether they win or lose or whether one guy plays well or one guy doesn't, we're going to make it. It's going to be a thing, and that's just how it is when you play in these high-level games. It always becomes a big picture analysis of your program, and it's like if Arkansas doesn't win, it's like, well, they just couldn't get over the hump. They're chokers, and they couldn't do it and all that. And if Tennessee loses, we're going to point our finger at them and be like, ha, see, Tony, they peaked you early and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, really, it's like these are just two really good teams, maybe the two best teams in the country. And, we know that if you're going to win the national title, you have to beat teams like this. It just sucks, honestly, for both sides that you have to play maybe your best competition in the super regional round.
Yeah, and really, again, appreciate the NCAA for doing that. I still don't really know what they were thinking. Because what did Tennessee do in the SEC tournament? Did they win? How many games did they win in the SEC tournament?
They won at least a couple games.
Okay.
I think they went to the semis maybe.
Okay. Because I was asking and thinking about, because going into the SEC tournament, they were a team that not many people had them hosting, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they were like right on that brink. Them and Ole Miss as well. Ole Miss, went to the title game, and they wound up being the 10 overall seed, which, of course, in hindsight looks bad. But, yeah, Tennessee, I didn't know for sure if they would get that opportunity, but you never really know. Their RPI was in a decent spot, but that SEC, winning a game or two in the SEC tournament probably made the difference.
Yeah, I'm always going to look at it from the perspective of even if Tennessee didn't get a regional, they would have put them in Arkansas's regional as a 2 seed. They've just been, all right, Arkansas 1, Tennessee 2. You guys fight it out because they just want that. They need it. Highly anticipated super regional, I hear, for not only fans trying to find tickets, but also the coverage. They're sending the A-team of ESPN to come in here and call the games. Apparently there's a lot of credential requests, record numbers. So, a lot of stuff going on here in Fayetteville. A lot of anticipation going on, too. So, we'll continue to discuss that, but I want to remind everybody, folks, that our bombastic coverage here at Inside Arkansas for postseason, as well as here at Inside Arkansas Live, is presented by our friends over at Hickey and Hull Law Partners. Forcing custody cases are way too important to face alone. Let Hickey and Hull Law provide you with persistent and diligent representation to guide you through the entire process. They have handled thousands of family law cases and have experienced nearly every scenario that may come up. Foundation of a strong attorney-client relationship is honesty and trust. So Hickey and Hull Law prides themselves on building relationships with their clients by providing that honest, principled advice and representation. So Hickey and Hull Law offices, great thing about it is they have offices all over the state of Arkansas: Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Little Rock, and even Mena. Call them today at 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. Or you can check out the website. Visit hickeyandhull.com or scan the QR code right there at the top. It's Hickey and Hull Law. Things are about to get better. So, guys, I know that when it first got announced, the tickets and everything was pretty insane, and I was wondering if it was ever going to slow down, and it really hasn't. I mean, I got people hitting me up saying, "Hey, I need 3 tickets all together for cheap." Sure, why not? Let me hook you up with those. People are. It's such a cool thing to have this in Fayetteville, and that's what I love about baseball more so than anything. And, football, if you go postseason playoffs, you're not playing it. I guess now you are if you get to that campus game. But forever you weren't. Basketball, you never want to play at home in postseason because that means you're in the NIT, and nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
So baseball is the unique thing where we're talking about the Sweet 16 essentially, and you get it at home in your home stadium. Like, it's a very unique thing, especially here in Arkansas with no pro teams or anything like that. The postseason, meaningful postseason happens, and that's why I'm so excited to see the electric atmosphere for not only tomorrow's game, but all weekend long. Especially if Arkansas wins game 1, shoot.
Oh, man.
Sunday night, man. People are going to get in fights out there.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to get awesome. But this is what's exciting for us and for everybody in the state of Arkansas is having this here in the state of Arkansas, knowing what's on the line, knowing you can go to Omaha.
Man, I absolutely love it. I mean, this is one thing that college baseball has gotten right, in history here for sure. Think about when they expanded the college football playoff this past year, and all of a sudden you had some of those opening round games on college campuses, and we were like, holy crap, this is awesome. This is so cool. Why haven't they been doing this all along? Well, they have in college baseball. So it is, man. It's really, really cool. I'm so excited about it. And you're right. It's going to be – there's going to be a lot of anticipation in the air tomorrow. But, if Arkansas gets it done and they're going into a game 2 that's not do or die for them, that place is going to be absolutely jumping. Now, the flip side of that is if we get to a winner-take-all Monday, man, it's going to feel weird in there where you can cut the tension with a knife. It's going to be nuts, man.
It's going to be nuts, but I think one thing that helps Arkansas here is that there's no discrepancy about the opponent and the mutual hatred that we all share for them, and that really everyone in the entire world shares for Tennessee baseball right now. And I say that like kind of as a knock, but seriously, it adds some stakes to this. It adds some intensity to it. And I think about some of the like postseason crowds that we talk about a lot. Like when you're playing Kansas State and you're playing SEMO in an elimination game, that crowd feels a little tense because it's like the big thing that's hanging over is you might pee your pants in front of this home crowd. Mm-hmm. But when you have a team like Tennessee or a team like Texas or a team like LSU, there's so much hatred from that fan base. So it unites everybody, even when we all know what the circumstances are. And I mean, think about some of the best atmospheres we've seen for postseason baseball at Baum. A lot of them don't feature teams that we all like for sure hate. Like that Nebraska game. You remember how wild it was for Charlie Welch's home run? Nobody was there because they hated Nebraska. They were there because they loved the Hogs. And obviously, the Hogs are the main attraction. The Hogs are going to put asses in seats no matter what. But when you have a Tennessee-type team that you've already seen once, that even since that moment when they played 3 weeks ago, I feel like Hog fans hate Tennessee now more than they did then, you know what I mean? Just with all the antics and everything. And so I definitely don't think Hog fans, you don't have to explain to them why they should be excited. We don't have to do the thing like Tennessee has to do where we're like, hey, guys, please come out and support the team. Come on, guys. We got to be loud. We got to be active. Everyone knows. You don't have to teach these fans how to hate the Vols. And so it's going to be electric. It's going to add to it. I don't want to hype it up too much because I know there's weather and there's a lot of things that can happen. And, of course, the team has to take care of business. But just on paper, this should be the most intense and hostile postseason environment we've seen at Baum Walker Stadium. And that is saying a lot because we've seen some crazy stuff go down here.
Yeah, and that's what the anticipation's there where, adding in the opponent angle, like you said, there's going to be nothing more satisfying for a Razorback fan than if you go in there and you got Liam Doyle, for instance, and what he's got going on. If you just shut him down, just completely shut him down, that is going to be a feeling like nobody's business could ever anticipate. And you're going to, because you know what he did, you know what he is, you know what he does. You're going to be, where's those antics now? Where's that, all that crazy stuff now? I know our guy Peebles is not going to be playing in game 1, but say in game 2, if he struggles and you got Gage Wood who strikes him out 2 or 3 times in a row, I was like, where's the bat flip now? Everyone knows these players not because of, I've been following him and he's got great stats here and, he's really got a great ERA. No, they know him because it's like that jerk. I saw him on Twitter the other day pimping stuff and being a jackhole. I want to shut him down. So it's going to add into that energy to where, it's going to feel like a basketball feeling, like a basketball atmosphere of on top of you all the time. There's no way to measure this, guys. But I guarantee you, assuming the game goes good for Arkansas, this might be the most that Razorback fans will stand in a single game because I could see that happening where hey, it's full count, 2 outs, standing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be into it. None of this sitting back like, I wonder what Charlie's doing the other day. What are we going to have for dinner afterwards? Like, no one's going to be doing that. They're going to be in it, and it's going to be fun.
This is not going to be the weekend for the down in front crowd.
No.
I'll tell you that right now. So
No.
if you're coming, you better be ready to get on your horse, man. There's going to be no sitting. You're 100% right for that, man. No doubt.
We've talked a lot about like the Tennessee antics, and a lot of people have talked about it just nationally. Look at Chipper Jones chiming in and all that. That cracks me up, man. But I think it's going to be such a huge storyline that we're going to have to monitor throughout the weekend. And I think there's a reason Tony Vitello told his team to tone it down going into that other series. One, because he has respect for Dave Van Horn. They don't really, there's not, as much as we like to talk the fan bases hate each other, these teams don't actually hate each other. Like, I don't think Liam Doyle looks at Charles Davlon and he's like, I hate that kid. I don't really think they hate the Hawaiian kids or anything like that. They're like, I want to throw one at people always head. But there's that emotion. I think the reason why Tony V tells him to tone it down is because he knows he's been in that dugout with Dave Van Horn. He knows what kind of stuff Dave Van Horn says to his team, what type of stuff Dave Van Horn uses. You guys know this. Any coach, they're always trying to use that bulletin board material, always trying to find unique ways to motivate your team. And I think Tony Vitello is smart enough to know if we have a player kind of puff his chest out against Dave Van Horn's team, it's going to bring out a better version of this team. You're going to bring out the best version of Hogs. And as much as we all say, we want to face you at your best, no, you don't. You want to have that mental warfare advantage. And for Tennessee, you may look at it and you say, well, they played Wake Forest and they were acting crazy. Don't you think they're going to do that against Arkansas? Wake Forest ain't Arkansas. And when you're at home, it's a very different thing. That mental warfare, you can win by doing some of those antics. And I'm not saying you can't win doing that way against Arkansas, but I think Tony Vitello knows it's not going to have the effect. You're not going to shake mentally this Razorback team. They're not going to see you pimp a home run and be like, oh my God, can we? I don't want to pitch to that guy anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, Liam Doyle told me I'm effed. I don't know what I'm going to do. They're gonna tighten up and they're gonna be like, let's bust these dudes up. You know what I mean? It's gonna bring out the best version, and that's what you don't want to do when you're facing a team in this type of situation.
It's 100% right, because Arkansas is one of a very small handful, maybe the only team that Tennessee can't outright out talent out there. So when that's the case, if you're superior to your competition, then you can do that and get away with it, and they'll get lemon booty and pucker up a little bit, especially if they're playing in Knoxville, like you were pointing out there, Andrew. But yeah, you don't come to a place where you're facing a team that's as talented or arguably more talented than you are, in one of the best atmospheres in college baseball, and think that that's going to work out to your advantage. That would be a choice that they'd make there.
Yeah, I know this is very cliche to bring it up, but what I couldn't help but think about is, of course, the whole Michael Jordan thing from The Last Dance. And I remember Shaq talking about how he was terrified of Michael Jordan. He's like, no, this is a guy only I didn't talk trash to. You don't mess with God. He's like, because what it's going to do. And, the whole thing of, they talk about these young players that would go up against Jordan, they say something, and then all the veterans are like, oh, man, what are you doing, man? Don't do that. He's going to kill us. And that's the same thing with Arkansas a little bit is, I try to go back. Is there ever been a time where those antics of a team and Arkansas did not come out on top? I'm sure there was on occasion, but it just seems like more often than not, when they're facing the Ole Misses of the world and all that, they're usually the ones that say, hey, we don't need that stuff. We're just going to come out and instead of saying anything, we're going to let our play do it. And I'll tell you what, I think the great example of this, we'll get to the chat and everything. Will McIntyre, the last time that these two teams played, listen, I think Will is awesome. I love Will. I love his family. Sometimes I feel like he's like the Hudson Card, gets unfairly criticized for nonsense because he's actually really good. But when he went out there, you could tell the motivation of him wanting to strike those dudes out. It fueled him to have a great showing, and that's what I'm hoping in general the rest of the team has too.
That's what you have to feel if you're a coach or you're a fan or whatever. Like, you got to hope that it does. Your team rises to that occasion, and again, that's what's so cool about this time of year. It's like we can talk about it and we can make our predictions and we can feel like and have all these conversations, but it's like we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out if Arkansas really does take this personally. We're gonna find out if they play their best ball. And look, if Arkansas doesn't play their best ball, it's not because they failed to live up to the intensity, or maybe they got spooked by the atmosphere or whatever. I just think it's fascinating, and if we're talking about it and we're so excited and we can't wait, we're counting down the minutes. How do you think those players feel, man? Like, I can't wait to go see them out at practice today, to just see the vibes. And of course, the day before, you're kind of trying to conserve energy. But I think the conservation of energy is actually going to be a big theme this weekend, because it's like you can get a strikeout and you can pump your chest, but then you got to come back out at the next inning and do it again, and you got to keep doing it. And for 27 innings, potentially 3 days, that's a long time to harness that energy without having that adrenaline dump. And like you say, John, Arkansas specializes in this. Like, they do this a lot. DVH has been around the block. And by the way, Tony Vitello's been around the block too. I mean, the dude just led his team to a national title. He knows all these things that we're saying, Tony knows. Like, and that's why it's going to be fascinating to see how much they really push the envelope a little bit. I imagine it's going to be somewhere in between, because if the Wake Forest series is all the way over here and the Arkansas series a few weeks ago is over here, it's going to be somewhere in here. I just want to see how close it is to shutting those guys up and how close it is to them kind of maybe puffing out their chest. And I've seen a few people in the chat say if they start having success and they feel like they're really about to end your season, you're going to have to hear it from them. And I think that's going to make it fascinating too.
That's actually a really, really good point. Because I was just about to say, it's probably a lot easier to go into just a regular season series in Fayetteville. If you're Tony V and telling those guys, hey, tone it down. We don't need too much of that, whatever. Keep it under control for these reasons. But these guys have been fueled by this. It's an identity of their program. They just do it differently than other teams. When you get into just an emotional, pressure-packed situation like you're going to have this weekend, it's easy to say, hey, don't MF somebody after you strike them out until you do it in a big moment. Or, hey, we're not going to bat flip and pimp a home run until you hit a go-ahead and you silence the crowd out there. So it's probably going to be easier said than done. It might take more energy for them to constrain themselves than to let it fly a little bit. So you never know. It is going to be fascinating. And Andrew, to your last point there, man, I really hope that we're not in a situation where we have to hear it.
Yeah.
I don't want to live in that world. I really don't.
Well, look, as a pro wrestling guy through and through, just a big WWE, I was born and raised on it. I view the world through that lens. And some people, like me personally, I kind of like being the heel. I kind of like pissing folks off. I kind of enjoy that, and I think Tennessee does as well. But again, it's one thing when you're at home and everyone's cheering and you're pissing off the opponent, but it's like you're getting cheers for it. Is Tennessee really going to love getting booed into oblivion and getting 12,000 fans jumping down your throat? Maybe they will. I don't know, but they sure didn't whenever they were in Fayetteville a few weeks ago. All that rah-rah shit they were doing was not happening when they were in Fayetteville a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it's going to be different. It's going to be awesome, folks. We're here live at Alumni Hall in Fayetteville, 3417 North College Avenue. Come on by and use that promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your purchase. You can also shop online if you're not going to be able to make it in store with us today. InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall, and you'll be able to get that great discount code using HOGSBY20. All the Razorback apparel, they still got the pinstripes, which, I was looking at the baseball jerseys that they have. They got the pinstripes, they got the grays, they got the creams, got plenty in stock there. They got plenty of hats. They got everything for the weekend for you if you're a Razorback fan. So,
dude, the Hogs hate the creams and they hate the reds. They've just they just don't wear them anymore. I really don't understand. Obviously, last week they had to be the road team for a game or two or whatever, but it's like, we never see the creams anymore.
No. And in fact, I can't remember the last time I've seen the Reds. And we know whose decision that is. That's Dave. Like, it's not like, somebody from the administration be like, hey, baseball team, we're going to start wearing these colors. And Dave's like, well, I guess if you say so. Like, no, Dave's the one making those ultimate choices. So I'm sure that there's a reason why. But either way, we appreciate Alumni all having us out here. Let's go ahead and check the vibe of the chat presented by our friends over at Basis Health, where they're changing the way healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits to the comfort of your very own home. Doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, so much more. Basis Health, they are here for you when and where you need them the most. You can learn more at basishealth.org today. It's basishealth.org. Shout out to our guy, Dre, for his great partnership here with us at Inside Arkansas. So, all right. So I'm sure the chat's very lively and, really, really sane today. It kind of happens with game day eve and whatnot. But let's go ahead and get into some of them here. Shout out to Paddlefish for the super chat. We appreciate you, Paddlefish. Says, I've been dying to see the deleted Pot at the Palace segment where Curtis played out Arkansas's baseball draw in basketball terms. Any chance you would redo that segment on an upcoming Pot at the Palace?
It's still there. I guess it's still in our StreamYard library. I should go find it and cut it out. And then I could add the Tennessee part to it because I didn't do that. I did the regional teams, and that was a good time. So, maybe
that's a loaded regional for basketball.
Yeah,
North Dakota State's a good 4 seed. I mean, like, if you face them as a 15 seed in the actual tournament, you're like, oh, that's pretty good. Kansas, obviously. I mean, Arkansas did just whip them in the tournament. But Creighton, what are they, a 5 seed, something like that?
Yeah, I mean,
like they're a good squad always. I mean,
then you advance, and you face Tennessee, and then you advance and you face LSU. I guess. That never really happened. Wait, who are they playing? West Virginia. That would make a little more
West
sense.
Virginia wouldn't
Sort
be
of.
too
They
bad.
both stink now in
I like how
basketball.
you got Murray State Duke over there. In a
yeah, the
super regional.
Cinderella story.
That's good
Exactly.
stuff.
Yeah, North Carolina on the other side of the bracket. Auburn. It makes some sense.
Yeah. No, it adds up. It adds up. Jakota just says, I am en route to infiltrate the Vols, arriving at the airport.
I like that.
There you go.
Jakota.
I don't know what infiltrate means, but I like it.
Yeah.
Also, are they not already here?
I don't know.
They practiced in
They
like an hour and a half. I feel like they would.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they're just
They
getting
may
right
have
off
got delayed for the from the nonsense.
That is
Yeah.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hogs already got an advantage. They're late to the game, late to practice. You know, we're gonna see Tony Vitello go off on the grounds crew there in Baum Walker. Let's see. Heartbroken Hog says it's a good thing John says that every day, or I would definitely not feel appreciated by y'all. Well, yeah. Well, I do say it every day because we do appreciate y'all. And if I don't say it, then I'm in a bad mood.
John appreciates y'all the least, I feel like.
Yeah, that'll be a good poll
It's
question.
the one that
to have.
says it the most that feels it the least.
It's
you
the
know,
one
I
that
gotta-
postures that's actually.
It's the virtue signaling that I'm doing over here. Yeah.
Guys,
He's on his
exactly.
West Rucker.
Every
Yeah.
time we end the
Gosh.
stream, John always finishes with, "Oh, I hate those guys."
Yeah. Yeah. It's just I immediately just want to punch myself in the face as many times. Like I just had to deal with all those idiots out there. No, we love you and we appreciate
Yeah,
y'all.
y'all all right.
Did we already talk about this comes from Finch? We already talked about Jimmy Fallon being the Walmart greeter in Fayetteville for the next 3 hours.
I did not know about this.
Interesting?
I did not either. I mean, it doesn't surprise me because it's Walmart shareholders
Right.
and they had all that.
I
She
saw
seems
Chris-
like she knows something. You know something? Oh, yeah. So I was about to say, she's about to
Incredible, yeah.
leave Alumni Hall. She's about to quit her job to go over there and see Jimmy
Our
Fallon.
source is very unreliable, so I don't know if you should take it. No disrespect, Finch, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Snoop
we-
Dogg work at Cane's.
crap like that happens a lot. Yeah.
Dude,
What's,
Post Malone was at Maxine's last night, and I was so upset I didn't
Last
get.
night?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Imagine just like sitting there and you're eating your popcorn and cheese and stuff, and all of a sudden Post Malone walks in.
Good old
That's
Austin
insane,
Post,
man.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Of course,
about
I feel
that?
horrible because I'm going to go ahead and say this because I'm going to make her feel uncomfortable. I thought that was Brie Ellis that walked in over here, but she actually just works here.
Yeah, no, I
because,
definitely
there
thought it
was
was
a
Brie
lot
Ellis,
of
too.
similarity. And I think it was the baseball jersey she was wearing. I mean it in a complimentary
You
way.
thought Brie Ellis was just in uniform at all times?
Yeah, I just thought she came in here. She's like, "Oh, Brie Ellis came to see us.
As
That's
if
awesome."
I didn't get a bunch of Razorback gear for free. I'm gonna come in here.
Yeah,
and,
and listen, but we saw Isaiah Seeley came in here when we were here. We saw Jordan Weber come in here. I mean, it's not like insane to see somebody come out here and see us, and all of them came here for us. They didn't come here just to buy
Correct.
Razorback gear.
What's cooler right now? Post Malone being here, Jimmy Fallon being here, or Chris Paul being here?
Chris Paul's here too?
Yeah, Cal got
Chris
a picture
Paul was
with him.
Cal. He's probably talking to Darius Acuff right
I would
now.
say if I were to rank the three, I would say probably Posty 1,
Yeah,
I
Chris
agree.
Paul 2,
I agree.
Fallon 3.
I
I
agree.
think I'm with
I don't
you
think
there.
Fallon's hot in the streets these days.
No. I think people got a little tired of the the carpool, or not the car. That was Jimmy. Whatever. That's a stupid name, British dude. What did Jimmy Fallon always do? That it was like the toy music stuff. They like used toy instruments. And
I don't know what you call it.
no, yeah, just whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's just people got tired of the shenanigans, and also laughing at every joke. But either way, I'm sure he's laughing at Walmart right now. He's having a great old time. Let's see. Hickory Hog says got pulled over and truck searched over mineral salt that the fine PD thought was meth. So Ellis, I'm with you. Very salty as well. Jeez, Hickory Hog,
Crazy, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
get the feds on you to like have the SWAT team.
sounds like you're very salty, buddy.
Yeah.
I want to know how they tested it. Like, what do they do? Do they
Just, dip your finger in it,
some
yeah.
on the gums or?
Yeah.
She's like, let me put this in my pipe real quick.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, nope, definitely salt.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, off to a roaring start there. Case says, I honestly thought about the Super Regional started today. I found out about an hour ago that it does not.
It is a tough
You're
one.
not alone.
Shout out to a mutual friend of ours who I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to dox him again. He took off work today. He was like, I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm ready to roll.
That's
I'm
rough.
like, well,
That's rough.
Enjoy your pregame.
Yeah. Jakota's over here. He's diabolical. He's like, I'm going to drive slow in front of the Tennessee charter bus.
Good.
Yeah, dude.
I like that.
Do that. Yeah, and also, honk your horn a lot, and maybe flip him the bird a little bit.
Was it Jakota that said he's taking the baseball team fishing? Because obviously that's been a big topic this week. Is the boys have been looking to wet them lines, and I think it's Jakota that said he's taking
got
them.
a spot?
Which Jakota like invite? What,
Yeah,
like,
I say
what
thanks
hell,
for the
bro?
invite,
Like,
man.
no.
Come on,
Yeah, he's
now.
like just letting you guys know I'm hanging with the squad.
Yeah, I mean, there are levels to this. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever.
It's fine. I don't- actually, now that I think about it, I don't want to do that because then it's like those guys are actual like fishermen, and we just be sitting there like
That was
okay.
that was a little bit my concern.
Yeah.
I thought about though, we might be having an outing with the bass team.
Yep, working on
we
that.
should probably put the two together, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a match made in heaven. Both all of them are Hogs, all of them are Razorbacks. One's just an officially sanctioned group, and the other one's a club group. But still, yeah put them together. That needs to happen. Let's see. Skalisk says, I think you can't get behind in these games and play with a lead.
Well, factually, that is true. If you fall behind, you cannot play with the lead. But I agree that, like, we talked about if you said if Arkansas loses, like, what's it going to be? I think both of these teams, if they can keep this thing on schedule, I did an episode yesterday where I detailed all of the arms, and there's actually a ton of parallels. Like, Tennessee has a left-handed pitcher who just over the last month has been unhittable and has a crazy strikeout rate, very similar to Cole Gibbler. They also have a veteran left-hander who throws about 89, 90 that's gotten some big outs for them, very similar to Parker Coyle. They also have a hybrid reliever starter who's a top 100 prospect, similar to Gabe Gackle. Like, they have a lot of things kind of like, and both of these teams, again, we know who's going to be the guys, but I think it's all about keeping it on schedule. If your starter goes 5, you kind of can piece it together from there. But if Zach Root goes 3 1/3, it changes that schedule. If Liam Doyle only goes 4 2/3 like he did last time in Fayetteville, it changes Tennessee's schedule. And so it's like whichever team is able to kind of play according to their script, which of course, you got to get guys to get outs. But I think playing from behind it's always going to be fascinating here. And that's why I posed the question yesterday, which everyone ratioed me to hell and back on. Did you see that, John? I tweeted out, I was like, hey, if we get to a game 3 and Gabe Gackle is not thrown, and I even detailed a situation where it could very well happen. Would you consider starting him game 3? And every single response was like, he's gonna close game 1. There's not gonna be a game 3. And I'm just like, okay. But, like, what are you going to do if your plan doesn't come to fruition? I think there's going to be a lot of fascinating decisions with these coaches. I mean, Tennessee brought back their ace on Monday. It's like there is no rule and logic, We all have that kind of plan until we get punched in the mouth of, like, yeah, we'd like to have Root go 6, Fouch go 1, Gackle go 2. But it's like, dude, when you get to the postseason and the season's on the line, you don't really have time to adhere to your plan that you had coming in.
No, that's the thing is, like, I love how, I've talked to people that are thinking about, this is probably what's going to happen here. And, you think, you really think Dave would let him go this long and stuff. I'm like, listen, it's postseason. There's no like, we don't want to do this too much or whatever. That's why you had, what's his name with North Dakota State, why they ran that starter out there after just finishing the game before that day. It's like, we use what was it from Waterboy? It's like, season on the line, can't hold anything back now. He just kept saying it over and over again because that's what it is. You can't hold anything back now. You got to get it done however it needs to happen.
The decision-making process is, can you get us outs? If so, go take them out.
Yep. And if you can't, guess what? You're out. And we're going to find somebody else. Simple as that. Dalton Motorsports says, there's not a single team left that truly scares me. Tennessee concerns me, but mainly just because of the mutual hate. And that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel the same way where you are the best team left in the field. I think that's, maybe LSU's right there with you. And Tennessee's really good, but I don't see
North Carolina
anybody.
looks good today.
Yeah,
what is the score to that, by the way?
10-2, somebody said in here a minute ago.
That's what's going to be Arkansas game tomorrow.
I like the way that sounds.
I mean, look, I think Arkansas is the best team in the country. I felt that way a long time. They're the favorites for a reason. Not necessarily that means that they're a lock to win it. I do think Arkansas is the best team, but there's about 10 or 12 teams left in this tournament that Arkansas would be able to just out-talent and just out-physical. Like we say that in football a lot. But in baseball, you can do that a little bit too. Like, our dudes are just better than you. Hell, Arkansas did that last weekend against Creighton and against North Dakota State. This is one of the 4 or 5 teams that you can't do that against. I think North Carolina is one of those teams. Florida State's one of those teams. LSU is one of those teams. Outside of that, like, even Auburn, I feel like if Arkansas and Auburn played, Arkansas would out-talent those cats.
I was going to bring up I was going to say, just out of respect to our friend Quinn War Eagle over there, we got to mention Auburn.
Every time we I always think about Quinn, we do have to give Auburn like their respect, and then good team, good program. Yeah, we respect them. Hey, I hope they make the title series. Arkansas would whip that ass into oblivion. I'm talking about like absolutely curb stomp.
Quinn's about to just go nuclear,
buddy.
Yeah, I mean that would be a gift wrapped College World Series Finals matchup. I mean, especially if you get through something like this, you go out there and beat LSU. It ain't gonna be Auburn that's gonna end the dream for you.
Yeah. What is it? Boots. Just keep doing that. Boots.
There's no discharge in the wall.
Yeah. Because that's how people talk nowadays. Yeah, it's like you have to probably look that up.
Did you guys do any more research on that, by the way?
Nope. Yeah, it's a poem. Okay, did you?
No.
Oh, okay, I did. Well, because our guy Dre from Basis Health is just like sitting there like, y'all need to read more. I was like, okay, well, let me look this up, and it's apparently a poem from the British military it was written that way and it was written in that form, and it was kind of like a haunting thing, and then somebody voiced it. I don't know, but either way, it was a poem back then. It's like, man, can't get any more hyped. I think that actually when they wrote that poem, it was probably meant for Razorback baseball regionals or super regionals against Tennessee.
It was for this exact situation.
It's the exact same thing.
I like that part where it's like, man.
yeah. That was pretty hype though. Finch says, matching John on the hats while at work today. Great choice. If not, wearing the camo one. Well, yeah. I mean, I got to look like a ball player because that's the only thing I can do is just look like one.
You do look like a defensive replacement, second baseman in the ninth inning.
Mm-hmm.
Go in there.
I was gonna say I look like someone like Hudson Polk, like just the guy that's like the. Hey, we have nothing for you to do. Go over there and coach first base. It's like, yeah, I got you.
By the way, I'm sorry I'm not Arkansas out today. Y'all probably wouldn't understand, like, but I've got a TV appearance later today, and so like as two guys that are not going to be on TV today, y'all probably wouldn't relate, but I couldn't be super like Arkansas out today because I'm going to be on the television today, and so when you're on television, it changes your wardrobe a little bit. And again, y'all being guys who are not going to be on television today. Probably what I'm saying doesn't make sense, but it does if you are on television.
Congratulations on finally getting your opportunity. That way you can join the club.
I've been on the bench for years, man.
Can we let the record show that originally when I got the text message, I was asked, "Hey man, would you or Andrew be interested in coming on?" You know what I said? I said, "Hey, well, yeah, get Andrew to come on." Because I had that. Next time I'm just gonna be like, no, screw Andrew, because he's not humble about it at all. So I'm going to go and do it.
I got on there in San Francisco because I walked around the corner and saw those guys, and it was like, hey, do you have any idea where John's at? I was like, I think he's back at the arena. They were like, you'll do. I was like, great, man, let's go.
We can angle this thing up a little bit. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. Shout out to our guys at THV11. Good people over there. Tyler Cass and Nick Luttrell, not Luttrell, like so many people say.
It's not Luttrell?
It's not. So, yeah, I had to learn that. It's Luttrell. So
I thought he was related to the North Dakota or the North Texas coach from a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that guy.
Seth Luttrell.
Yeah, that's right. Transplanted Texan says, sell your tickets directly to Hog fans. Hashtag no third-party sales. Hashtag no ticks for tenor.
Did y'all see the dude who has tickets behind third base, and he's like, love whenever the UAVA takes my tickets, and then I see him on a third-party website. It's like the exact seats. I'm like, that really is. And like, I'm laughing, but it's like not funny. That's brutal. But yeah, don't sell third party because there's a 50-50 chance it goes to a Tennessee fan. There are billions of Hog fans begging for tickets all over the internet. Find a few of them and give them and sell them that way.
Dude, or simply DM me on social media. I have people DMing me all the time looking for tickets that they'd much rather buy from Razorback fans. DM me and I'll make sure you get them sold. Simple as that. But yeah, don't do third party if you can avoid it. The third party nonsense has gotten out of hand for tickets and whatnot. So yeah, give it to Razorback fans because there's nothing worse, guys, than if you're looking at a game and behind home plate you see the opposing team like in the third row fans. Like if something like this and you just see a bunch of orange behind home plate, that's going to really upset me if that happens. Should never happen. Let's see a few more here. Robert, I got Robert. Good to talk with you, Robert. Hopefully you drank plenty of water this past weekend.
Robert is electric.
Dude, I love that guy. Yeah, he gets after it, man. But he says, I think with all the extracurricular activities that went on last week, the umpires might be pretty strict on that stuff this time.
Oh, those extracurricular activities. Got it.
There's something else.
No, yeah, and this is actually 100% right. Like, I think there's probably going to be a memo sent to both dugouts. They're going to, but also it's like, you can say that stuff pregame, but like, what are you really going to, you going to eject someone the first time they pimp a home run? Like, that's a little bit tough. I think the umpires are definitely going to be making sure that like nobody's getting thrown at, nobody's getting cleated, which I really don't think we're in danger of stuff like that happening. Yeah. I think it's just going to be a lot of F-bombs, a lot of yelling.
Yeah, they're not dirty. They're just extra.
They're just double F-bombs.
Yeah. I don't think hopefully not, but I don't think you're going to see a Tennessee player if he hits a home run just like look at Dave Van Horn and go up to him and just like hand him the bat or some crazy stuff like that.
Grandpa.
Yeah, just say, just like retire now, put you in a home. That stuff's not going to happen. So
y'all see Tennessee fans were calling our boys Moana.
Man, come on now.
Tennessee fans have been brutal online.
They're really nasty.
They're mean.
Yeah, they get after it, man. Vol Twitter's a whole other animal. So again, folks, we're here live at Alumni Hall. Come on by. Use that code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your purchase. Enter into a really cool raffle, better than the Razorback raffle, honestly, to where you're going to have giveaways of a Omaha Hogs shirt as well as a bombastic hat, some other cool stuff too, and that goes for online purchases as well, InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall. Hogs by 20 for 20% off. A few more here. Chakota says, I love that Doyle only says you're effed when he's up 5 runs with 2 strikes and 2 outs. Against us the first time, he was geeking out.
Listen, this is a great point, and again, it's very easy to be the puffing your chest out and talking your crazy stuff when you're playing a team that cannot match your level of talent. Which Tennessee and Arkansas were both in that situation last week. You saw how one team acted. You saw how the other team acted. Like it's and again, there's 98% of this country can face Liam Doyle and have no chance in hell.
Yeah.
He faced a lot of guys last week that had no chance in hell. He knows that it's not the same situation with this Arkansas team, and that's why you're not going to see him acting like that. And I'm not saying he can't pitch well against Arkansas. He's very, very capable of going out there and pitching very well, but he knew he was facing a team that didn't have a chance, and he was acting like it, which you're well within your rights to do. But he definitely wasn't doing that against Arkansas, and I don't anticipate he's going to be yelling "you're effed" at any of the players in Arkansas's lineup.
No way.
No. Who was? I know you're going to remember him, but who was the guy that got ejected for Tennessee back in that year they lost to Notre Dame? Who was that guy?
Logan Gilbert.
Yes.
Who is about to get called up for the Astros.
Yeah,
really?
He was a first-round pick, and he was he straight up looked like pointed at the umpire and was like yelling, "F you, that's effing horrible," and then got ejected and was like, "What? What'd I do? What'd I do?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you can't do that."
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he did that at first, and then the ump was like, tell him to go on. Then he did it again, like said it back to back. Yeah, and then he gets ejected. And you would, in the look on his face, you would have thought that he was just didn't say a word, and he was walking off and got ejected. Like he was so overreactionary, and it cracked me up, man. So they may do it a little bit differently here in postseason play. A few more here. Hayden Ulmer says that first Dean Curley error is going to hit like crack. Yeah,
he made a couple big errors against Arkansas last time. He's made a couple since, and it was so funny because Tennessee fans were like begging Tony V to bench him, which is always funny because I'm like, you think he started like 58 games at second base. I'm like, I get if you do that, if you hate him or whatever. I'm like, you're just gonna throw in a guy that like has not been playing second base all year. Like I don't know. He's also a top 60 prospect in the draft this summer. But Tony V was talking yesterday about Arkansas, and he was like, hey, you look at this lineup, and it's a lot of big physical dudes. Like that's kind of how we all try and build our teams. Have these big physical dudes. He's like, but their dudes are like two-way athletes. And I think that's one of the big differences between these two teams is Tennessee bottom 3 in the SEC in fielding percentage. Arkansas top 3 in the SEC in fielding percentage. May not sound like a big deal, but when you get in these 1-2 run games, it matters. Yeah. And I think Tony V looks at Arkansas and he's like, damn, I kind of wish my guys weren't just big meatheads that can't field the ball.
Finally here, Ryan says, yes, please eject players when they pimp home runs because we know which side any potential pimps come from.
Ryan, have you watched any Arkansas games this year? These dudes pimp home runs like every third one. Like Vahiva Aloy would get ejected for every home run he hits, dude. Every time he hits a home run, he stares at it. You know what I mean? Like, again, I know
that Justin Thomas the other day.
Yeah,
Justin Thomas started to pimp it, then he remembered what he was told. And he's like, actually, let me run. But no, like that again, it's just such a misconception that like Arkansas doesn't do that kind of stuff, dude. Like if we start playing that game, dude, it's not going to be all on Tennessee, even though they are a lot more obnoxious.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's a difference between like pimping one because you look at it and then doing whatever what's his name did, where he's like running on the bases, doing 360s. Like,
right.
If he had 2 bottles of water in his hand, he'd be stone cold Steve Austining down there. Like, he's like, there's a little bit different in how that goes.
By the way, how do we feel about Arkansas's double celebration, the kick in the door and flash the guns?
I like it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
As
long as you do it often because you're doing good stuff. Yeah, and I'm all for it. Again, we're here live at Alumni Hall. I'm excited about it this whole weekend. I know it's going to be great to get into. And let's go ahead and also get into our best and worst of the week because we know that there was plenty of highlights and some lowlights. And that's presented by our friends over at Looper Auction and Realty. Why wait months, even years, to sell your home the traditional way? At Looper Auction and Realty, they offer a faster and smarter option. Sell your home at auction, no repairs, no contingencies, no drawn-out negotiations. You get to set the terms, buyers compete, and you walk away with a firm closing date. Whether it's your home or your estate or just an investment property, it's the auction method that's going to put you in control and get it sold fast for the most amount of money and the best process. So call Looper and Auction Realty today at 479-996-4848. That's 479-996-4848. Or visit looperauction.com. It's Looper Auction and Realty, sold in 30, closed in 30. All right, so guys, I want to go ahead and start with best, and it's kind of maybe lame because it happened like last night, but man, something about the Indiana Pacers in the NBA. I know we talk a lot of Razorbacks and everything, but that's some of the most incredible things I've ever seen. How this team just is down, doesn't matter. and they keep finding ways to win. I think I saw a stat last night that first team in playoff history, there was like 182-0 for teams that had a 9-point lead with 3 minutes left to go or something like that. Didn't matter. Pacers do it. Something about them. It's just fun to see that, and they continue to do it. So that was one of the best of the weeks for me, was them.
Yeah, I mean, you could go best of the week, the Pacers, worst of the week, Oklahoma City choking that away at home. Like, they were up 15 midway through the fourth quarter, bro. Yeah. That was nuts. And at some point, we got to stop with the Tyrese Halliburton hate. Like, the slander on that man is unbelievable. He has the clutch gene. Yeah. It is him. He is him. It's unbelievable with that dude. He didn't even play well last night. Yeah. And he wound up hitting that shot there at the end. It was incredible. I'll stick with this theme. I got a few, but we talk so much about the pro Hogs and everything. It's like, dang man, Isaiah Joe and Jay Will, they lost last night. That stinks. But people forget that former Razorback, just goat of mine, Gennaro Pargo, is on that staff, baby, over at the Indiana Pacers.
Wait, is he really on their staff?
Yeah.
I did not know
He's
that.
an assistant coach. He's one of their player development guys. So either way, a Hog is going to get a ring. Okay, it's okay. But no, I found that interesting. I've seen I can't remember. I think it's in this chat or somewhere. Oh no, it was Blake Edens who keeps putting it out there, and he's just like, "Yeah, man, you don't forget about Gennaro Pargo. Don't forget about Gennaro Pargo." I did not forget about Gennaro Pargo. So good on him for getting a dub. If our other boys have to take an L last night, then it's good on him for getting a dub. Somebody's gonna be crowned as a Razorback. I love it.
I like that a lot. It's funny about the last second shots. What is it? 3 now in this playoffs alone that Tyrese has hit. He's 3 for 3 on potential tying or go-ahead shots in the last 5 seconds.
Got the Cavs, got the Knicks,
yeah. Well, it's funny because, you think of that and you're like, all right, 3 shots. Like, is that big of a deal? You look at some of the best players in the history of the NBA. I think LeBron's 8 for 20 in the postseason on tying or go-ahead shots in the last 5 seconds. And he's, way up there in terms of, I think he has actually the most game winners in the playoffs. Kobe was 4 of 18 on those shots. And that's, you could say that's a knock or whatever, but it's such a specific thing. Mm-hmm. Having 3 in one postseason and you're 3 for 3, that's insanity. Like that is it's pretty special. And so it's like, talking about a guy that's 22, 23 years old. It's like, think about if he's able to keep being in the playoffs and keep knocking those down. It's like, he's creating quite a little legacy for himself. The fact that the Pacers are in the finals already, he earned my respect because he's one of those players that controls every section of the game. When for his team, he's kind of almost a throwback floor general. A point guard that's a pass first guy that obviously can knock down shots, but he's kind of like the perfect modern point guard. I feel like, and he dictates the pace better than any lead guard in the league. I feel like.
If we're talking about best of the weekends from this standpoint, did you guys just look at any of those reaction videos? Did you see some of the the Pacers fans who were recording in their living rooms or whatever, or the whole the watch party they did at Banker's Life or whatever it's called now? Where that place was going absolutely nuts. I saw one from a Buffalo Wild Wings in Indianapolis where he hit the shot, and people were going crazy. I also liked watching some of the former NBA guys who live streamed during the watch parties like we do. Gilbert Arenas went nuts.
Steven Jackson,
Dwayne Wade. A lot of people showing that man love and giving him his flowers. But that was a crazy comeback. And there was just something about it, man, that entire game. And maybe it's because the Pacers have been doing this, but you would feel like, all right, man, they're going to make their run, but then Oklahoma City would hit a huge 3 or whatever. They'd stretch it back out to double digits, and you're like, man, they're just too good. They're just too good. Then Indiana would creep back in. You're like, oh, maybe. And then, there's Shea with it, and it just – but they eventually just overtook them. And that last couple minutes, it almost felt inevitable. It almost felt like it was no matter what, they were going to have an opportunity to get the final shot and win that game. And when OKC missed – and that ball got in Halliburton's hands, I was like, oh, man, here we go. And he drilled it, man.
He was great.
The mid-range jumper, a lost art.
Yep. It's really fun. I know people are talking about, we don't have the big market teams or whatever. I'm happy that it's 2 teams that don't have the biggest markets, and especially for the Pacers that have been there for so many times and had some really good runs, but never came up big. But they're in control right now. Still home court advantage, so we'll have to wait and see.
It'll overcorrect next year. It'll be Lakers Celtics.
Yeah,
the league is not going to let that happen again.
Yeah, they're going to find a way. So, but that was my best. Do you guys got any more best of the week?
That was a pretty good one.
I've got at least one. Okay. But my one is really, it's going to be tomorrow. It'll officially become my best of the week. But My guy Sean O'Malley. John, you know Sean O'Malley.
Yeah,
that's one of the 3 UFC fighters I feel like you kind of, at least he's the rainbow hair guy.
Is he Irish? I can't tell by his name.
He's not Irish, weirdly enough.
That is weird.
He's got like Irish descent. He fought in Boston. He won the belt in Boston, and they were like, "Oh yeah, he's pretty much Irish." But no, he's from Montana, weirdly enough. But I'd say that's my favorite. I mean, that's my strongest allegiance with the UFC fighters. Loved watching his rise, but he lost the belt in the Sphere in September. Dog shit performance, horrible performance, and he's rematching the guy that took the belt from him. I like everything I've seen this week, Curtis. I've been eyeing on the body language. I watched the weigh-ins this morning. I really like what I'm seeing from the Sugar Show. I think the belt is coming back to Rainbow Road to kick off Pride Month, and it's gonna be fun. And tomorrow night, weirdly enough, I'm really glad that the scheduling works out, because obviously we're at the mercy of Arkansas. Like, if Arkansas played at 8 p.m. tomorrow, I just wouldn't watch the fights, and that's just how it would be. The game is gonna wrap up about 7:30. We'll have an awesome post-game show. We'll kick it at Foghorns for a little bit, just in time to get set for those fights. It's going to be electric, and Sean O'Malley's going to reclaim the belt. There's another girl that I might have to show you, John. Her name's Kayla Harrison. She's your kind of girl. Your kind of girl, man. She's a unit, dude. Curtis has been eyeballing her this week.
An absolute unit. Well, good. I can't wait to meet her and see what's going on there. So, sounds great. Either way. Okay, so for worst of the week, I got a few of these. We could use this time to talk about a few of them. But real quick, last night, the fireworks of the shareholders, they got to relax, man. That went on for about 20 minutes. And I was trying to record my Locked On, and I couldn't because they were so loud. And it was so obnoxious. And so that was pretty rough. But also, too, something I noticed yesterday, and sometimes you should know things, but until you see it, you actually see it in person, or at least see a graphic of it or explaining it, you don't really know just how rough it may be. But we know that Mississippi State hired their new coach, Brian O'Connor, and how big that was. But he's the second highest paid coach in the SEC right now, and in the country, behind Tony Vitello. And Kendall Rogers tweeted this out. Tony Vitello is the highest paid coach in the SEC at $3 million. You have Brian O'Connor at 2.9, Tim Corbin at 2.4, Jim Schlossnagle at 2.2, Kevin O'Sullivan 1.84, Jay Johnson at 1.79. It's one of those things where you're like, wow, Dave Van Horn's not even a top 5 paid coach in the SEC. Now, granted, Vitello's won a title, Corbin's won a title, O'Sullivan's won a title, Jay Johnson's won a title. Schloss has not won yet, right? He hasn't won one yet.
No, he has not.
Okay,
He's just been a bunch.
Yeah, and then obviously Vitello has won one. As O'Connor, Virginia, did they win one?
I'm pretty sure Virginia's won
I think they won one back in the mid-2000s. But the point is, I get that element, but it's just one of those things where if you ask, hey, who's, not to say it's always the correlation, but who's the best coaches in the SEC in baseball, you kind of feel like it's going to connect when it comes to the salaries. Dave Van Horn's not even top 6 in the conference. It's just it's mind-blowing.
I was surprised to see that. I was surprised.
So he re-upped his deal, I want to say, this would have been 3 or 4 years. It's been a while since he's re-upped his deal. And so since that time, all of these guys have gotten new contracts and just upped it up. Because I remember when he got paid his extension, it was a big deal. It was like, holy cow. And I mean, there was people that were like kind of worried about how much he was making. And so really it's like he needs to just get a new extension, re-up his thing, especially after they win the chip. You gotta just give him. And that's why it's like, dude, when we're thinking about retirement and all that, it's like if Dave can make, I don't know, $5.5-6 million over the next couple of years, it's like I wouldn't want to leave that on the table.
Yeah. Well, looking at where he's at now, he's at $1.25 million, which is a good amount of money. But yeah, you're talking about.
Where are you getting that number from? Because I feel like it's closer to 165 or something like that.
Well, I got from ArkansasRazorbacks.com. Let me click on the article and see if maybe it's an old article, because that is possible. It could have just been something that was done 10 years ago. But either way, even if it's that, what'd you say, 1.6? You said
it's like in the 1.5 range, but I don't know if that's like an incentive based or it's you see
this is in 2021. Numbers. It says Van Horn will receive annual compensation of $1.25 million. With scheduled increases in his base salary and additional incentive compensation with the Razorback success on the field. So he may be more of that
that's
now.
why I guess that's what it is. And now he's probably making closer to 1.5, 1.6.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, geez, you're definitely getting some, if you're talking about not saying discounts, but you're definitely getting your money's worth out of Dave, considering where these other coaches are making. I mean, you're talking about Tony Vitello is making over double what Dave Van Horn is making. I mean, that's just wild. I get it. He's won a title. Give him to him. But, man, just was really surprised by that and seeing how bad it was. So, either way, that was one of the worst of the week for me, is seeing that.
What did you guys think about the welcome the coach ceremony there in Starkville?
It looked like a wedding, huh?
A little bit.
It looked like a wedding, didn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting setup.
It is interesting.
Hell, we've had the same coach for so long. I wonder if they would do that at Baum. Because you have when you hire a new coach, like for basketball, they had the big thing for Cal, there in Bud Walton Arena, and they did from us and everything as well. I never really considered that aspect of it with baseball. So when I saw him doing all that over at Duty Nova, I was like, oh wow, this is kind of interesting. Looks like he had a good turnout for it, but it just seemed, I don't know, like I probably still would have just done it in the hump or something, like in the gym, and I don't know, but whatever. Let's see, dude. Worst of the week for me has just been the week. Because it's not the weekend. Like we had to suffer through all this to get to this point. Like we had some good times. The Hog Heaven House, that was awesome. We had some good shows in there, but man, it was just, everything was like it's just like stuff you had to do to get to this weekend, man. So I'm really glad that we're here. What else? Let's see. I don't know. Peyton Manning, Zakai Ziegler, Josh Heupel, Rick Barnes. Anybody else? Any other notable Vols there that we need to throw under the bus for the worst of the week? Dane Bradshaw. Yeah, I mean, anybody.
People forget that when Peyton Manning was at Tennessee, he may or may not have sexually assaulted a trainer there.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Oh, was that the forehead? Yeah, that was that weird stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. Folky. You guys remember Folky?
Oh yeah, Fulkerson.
Yeah, John Fulkerson.
Oh, John Fulkerson.
Yeah. He's in there. Admiral Schofield.
Well, hey, whoa. Admiral Schofield was the man. That's the one Tennessee guy I'm with. Grant Williams.
Pons. Yeah.
Jarnell
Grant
Stokes.
Williams. Grant Williams, VP of the NBA Players Association.
Really? I thought he was hated.
Yeah,
that's what's funny. That's
he
crazy,
is, but he's like apparently just nobody else wanted the gig.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I was always thinking Jarnell Stokes. He played at Tennessee, right?
He did. Yeah. For one, he was like a JUCO transfer or something like that.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. I think something like that. But either way, the reason I do remember that is because I felt like Jarnell Stokes was about to come to Arkansas, or at least there was some interest there, but it didn't happen. But yeah, throwing all the Vols of note there. Is Theo Vaughn actually a Vol fan, or is he just like there in Tennessee, so he goes to games sometimes?
I think he's just there. Because he did the Vanderbilt thing too.
Yeah, and I know he's also got allegiance to LSU, of course.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think he grew up 10 minutes away from LSU, but I don't think he like grew up a diehard. I don't think Theo Vaughn had the internet growing up, so I don't know if he like really even knew what was going on. But yeah, I think he goes to Vols games because he's there, and
Yeah.
The Theo Vaughn thing, that reminds me, by the way. I don't know if this would be on best or worst, so we're going to have to get political here. But the Elon Trump thing has been hilarious, and I was thinking about this from and somebody tweeted me. It was like, "Well, what would this be for Inside Arkansas?" And my thought is it would be you two guys having a big public falling out.
No.
And I would be like the JD Vance of the situation, where I'm just like, I'll throw in some little subtle dry humor in there. I'll go do a podcast with somebody else and just let you guys figure it out there for the whole world to see. I don't know which one of you would be Trump and which one would be Elon, but
Well, I don't know who would be who, and because no matter what, if we decide who's going to be who, the people are like, yeah, I can see it totally. Yeah, this is that person stuff. Yeah, because I was thinking, maybe somebody already tweeted out the meme of it, but the only thing I thought of is someone like to put out the picture of when Van Horn and Vitello went after it. It's like, oh, this is what this is, just like when they were getting in each other's face and talking about it. But yeah, there was like a lot of the memes and everything. But that was a crazy time in social media because I was doing stuff. I wasn't even sure what's going on. Suddenly I get on Twitter, check everything, and it's just a bomb that gets dropped and everything. So yeah,
it always crazy. It always amazes me that there's like real life people out there that like care deeply, and they're like really like they were upset yesterday. They were like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
Yeah.
I just, people's brains are broken by politics, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like back, and I mean on both sides. That's not a political message because I know a lot of people who, I agree with politically, who I can't stand talking to them, and there's people that I disagree with politically, and I can't stand talking to them either. I'm like, it's crazy that people get so worked up about this stuff. But yeah, I love whenever like the lines on the internet get blurred between like real life and fiction, and we're just like we're all over the place.
I was trying to also, when you were talking about University of Tennessee people, I was trying to see if they had any like actors or anything. On Wikipedia, it doesn't show anything that they have. I feel like, man, they gotta have somebody.
They don't have like a Matthew McConaughey type of.
Yeah, it's like Missouri has Brad Pitt at least.
Morgan Wallen, did he go there?
You know what? That's actually
Somebody said if Arkansas beats Tennessee this weekend, he's going to write a song about it.
Yeah, that's true. Now I'm looking at it as far as Dolly Parton. Okay, there you
Dolly
go.
Parton.
You got Dolly
yeah.
Parton. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah. Keith
You want to talk about
Wallinger.
heavy hitters?
Yeah, her pipes. She can sing very well, and yeah, she's anytime that Jolene comes on, man, it's always just going to hit a little bit different there. So,
Y'all been to
geez.
Dollywood before?
No.
Pretty good time.
No.
I've been twice.
Do you guys remember when she wore that Dallas Cowboys cheerleader outfit at the Thanksgiving game, and everyone was like, "Wow,
Yeah, we remember.
she's 90 or whatever." It was like,
You guys ever go to Graceland?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
For some reason, I felt like I drove by it once.
Every time I'm in Memphis, I try and get out of there as quick as I can.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't want to stick around and see the sights. You know.
You don't see the Liberty Bowl?
No.
It's a
I
shame.
will. Yeah, mark my words. I will never step foot inside that godforsaken facility ever again. Ever again. I'll go to the FedEx Forum, maybe.
Yeah, well, I was made a liar out of because I said the same thing. Yet I went to
Yeah, man, that
I
was
went to
tough.
Liberty Bowl anyway. So, but I will say it's a good. The Liberty Bowl is funny because they don't care. Like there's just people on the sidelines hanging out, like just drunk fragos. They're like, "Hey, what do you have to pass?" No, I forgot it. All right, well, just take it easy over here. Like it's just nobody cares. They're just happy you're there. Is how that feel is. Let's see a few chats here too. I want to bring something from Nep. Because my worst of the week, found out I have a damaged cartilage in my knee and have to have surgery next month. Well, that sucks.
Yikes, man.
I wonder what happened to cause that. Like, you have a tough fall. Were you hooping too hard?
Yeah. You just worn down, bone on bone.
Are you
grinding too hard?
Are you Batman? No, and you just got hit
Out
that
there
old
fighting
age.
crime, man.
Yeah, and you just get hit. Well, that is the worst of the week. I can understand. how that's
Yeah, it
pretty
doesn't
rough.
sound fun.
Let's see. Scalise says me with $400 in my account worrying about the government budget. That's that's pretty funny.
Surely that's kind of where I'm at. Where I'm like, dude.
Yeah. Let's see. Paddlefish also says, who would win the Golden Spikes if Cops and Vahiva were playing the same year?
Cops would be about a minus 750 going into the
Yeah.
ceremony. I gotta be honest. This is a down year for the Golden Spikes. Like Vahiva's having a great year, like an All-American type season. I feel like in a normal year, he wouldn't be a finalist, and that's not a knock on Vahiva. I mean, just literally look at the numbers that Charlie Condon put up at Georgia last year. Look at what Jack Caglianone did last year, and he wasn't even a finalist. Like, there's usually like some guy that hits like 30, like Christian Moore hit like 40 home runs last year, something crazy like that. There haven't been like this is a little bit of a down individual season in terms of like great performances. But yeah, if you compare like Vahiva's season, it compares pretty well to Benintendi. It's like in that same kind of range. But like Cops, I feel like he won it by a landslide his year. He would win it most years.
Well, also, Paddlefish wants to know, Ellis, does UNC concern you?
Concern me in the way that, like, yeah, they're very good. It doesn't concern me because you don't have to face them until the finals. And so it's like if you get to the finals, I'll feel good about it and I'll talk myself into it. The teams that concern me are the ones that are directly in the path.
Yeah. That's the thing is like I'm not concerned about a team until you get to that point, cross that bridge when it happens.
Yeah.
Because if you get to the finals, I don't care who it is, I'm going to be concerned. If you're in the College World Series finals, it could be
Unless it's Auburn.
Yeah. Coastal Carolina, I'd be afraid of, but if it ends up being Auburn, 50 runs being scored by Arkansas in those games. So, also, I wanted to bring this up, and I meant to do it earlier, but I love this. It was talking about the last time Tennessee beat Arkansas in a series in Fayetteville. Pretty great little graphic here, which let's see if I can get it to pull up. I don't think it really wants to pull up for me, but that's okay.
Does it include Will McIntyre? Is he on this?
Yes,
one?
he is. That's the one. That's the one that's going to be on there. So I guess it's not going to work, but that's fine. We'll find a different way. But either way, so I thought that was pretty funny because it's been that long. You don't really realize how long it's been since Tennessee has done that. It was 2001, I believe, is the year that they were saying that it happened. And
I mean, dude, it's been since 2005 overall. You know what I mean? Like, they've only won one series in forever. So it's like, even if you go back to 2005, there's a lot of players on the team that were not born. 2001, I think they said Will McIntyre is the only player on either roster that was born. There was a lot going on there.
Yeah.
LeBron was not in the NBA.
See, when you start putting stuff into perspective like that, it really changes things, and talking about how different baseball has changed. I mean, since that point in time, because I don't even think I realized Arkansas had a baseball team at that point. Like seriously, because it was. I think they were still playing at.
It was disrespect to Norm, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Was it George Cole Field? I guess back then.
Yeah.
Right over there where the parking lot
point,
is.
Had it become it had become Baum at that point, right? Or no?
I thought it just became Baum once they built it, and I thought they built it only in 2002 or 3. I could be totally wrong about that and making it all up.
It was right around that time period where they built it.
Yeah, I said it's. I could just be lying, which is very possible. So, but either way, yeah, I can't get the graphic to pull up because I'm stupid apparently. So, but that's all right. I'll read it off for you. Chris Burke was the one that led the Vols to the College World Series in 2001. So, Michael Jordan signed with the Washington Wizards. Barry Bonds had his 73 home run season.
Sammy Sosa was in that joint as well. Oh, yep, that was peak MLB baseball.
Yep. YouTube didn't exist. So, for those you watch on YouTube, yeah, it wouldn't existed. AOL Instant Messenger was the way the kids chatted, which I do remember that.
Yeah, man.
The buddy list. Man, my buddy list was fire. And hearing the door open and the door close, those are good times. Harry Potter's first movie was released that fall.
Gosh.
Tom Brady was named the starting quarterback for the Patriots.
Drew Bledsoe had just gotten Drew Bledsoe'd.
Yep. Blockbuster still had over 9,000 locations nationwide. Friends was still airing new episodes. And also Will McIntyre, only born from both teams. The only one that was actually born at that time.
Gosh.
That's got to be I would almost like use that as a badge of honor, to be honest. Like, yeah, I was born at the time when all those things happened. I'm older than all of you.
I remember.
I remember how it all went. So, but yeah, that was pretty great. Folks, we're here live at Alumni Hall, 3417 North College Avenue. Use that promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your purchase. The wood is not for sale. We'll say that. How much would you give that thing up for? How much is it worth to you?
It's priceless, man.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling with this. My lucky bat. I brought it to every Razorback baseball game, and Arkansas is now 7-0 since I brought it. So, sure, well, it has everything to do with this and nothing to do with the performances by the Razorbacks.
I have one like that. I got it at a Cardinals game, but it was the breast cancer. It's pink.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Anti-pink.
I think I'm gonna bring both of them to Foghorns.
There you
just
go.
have them there, and that way, if everyone wants
double
wood,
fist and wood,
everyone can have it. Yeah, that's fine.
I was hoping it was going to be a bat said the Cardinal way on it, and that was going to be great. So,
God, people are going to be so butthurt seeing us at Foghorns tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's going to be great.
Yeah, can't wait to see it and be full fledged in front of everybody. Having a good old time, which we'll be there, folks. Pre-game, post games, Foghorns there next to Baum. It's going to be a place where Inside Arkansas is at, and nobody else of note. Let's see. Also, shout out to the super chat from our guy Michael. He says, "John, what up, dude? So pumped for the games this weekend." What's up, Michael? Pumped
Who just
for the games
became
as
a
well.
member.
Yeah. Oh, he just became a member too. All right.
Sweet. Minutes ago.
Appreciate you, Michael. Yeah. What's up is that we're hanging out at Alumni Hall and having a good time getting ready for it. I see the sun kind of peeking out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little dicey this morning, but it's
just in time. It's gonna get the the nice, beautiful skyline behind Andrew's face when he's on television. Get his good side and everything. Complexion's going to be rocking.
Dude.
He's going to be looking great.
Dude, yeah, the wind blowing slightly in the hair.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's going to be majestic over there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys, we were talking about hype videos yesterday. I meant to bring this up, but this is a perfect segue. If you were going to have someone connected with Razorback baseball voice the hype video, who would be a great voice for the Razorbacks? Because here's the thing, it's like, we love Kevin Kopps, but Kevin Kopps doesn't have the voicing type of deal that he wants to do. Like, we have there's other guys there, but like, who would be the one?
You know what's crazy? In honor of Tony Vitello mentioning him yesterday, I think Rick Nomura might have to be the guy, because he would be able to say some Hawaiian stuff, and, give that kind of aspect. He played for Dan Van Horn and Tony Vitello. Could have some type of line about that. He played in Omaha in 2015. I think that would be that'd be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I got my vote, and it's not surprising. Blaine Knight. The dude does just because Blaine Knight, anything Blaine Knight, I can
He'd
get him
be in
there.
that joint, loud thunder, heavy rain.
Yep. Sitting there talking about Tennessee. I don't care about how many jacks they got on the year. They're gonna have to hit our stuff first. It's like, ooh, yeah. That'd get me going.
By the way, did you see the clip of Tony trying to take credit for the Hawaiian resurgence in Fayetteville?
That
he
was
was
insane.
yeah, I kind of started it. I recruited Rick Nomura, and now they've got a few other Hawaiian kids on the team. I was like, bro, what the hell was that?
Yeah, Dave Van Horn was just like, "Are you like, what's Hawaii? I don't even know what Hawaii is. Is there players over there?" It's like, "Hey, Dave, trust me." And it's like, wow, you opened up his eyes. He's like, "There are players in Hawaii. Come on now, don't do that."
What do you think about about what do you think about Stephen Hill?
Stephen Hill will be a good one.
Why?
He did hit a game winner against Tennessee in the SEC tournament.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's the thought process.
I'm hoping that's the only thought process because I was trying to think of like, well, if we're doing any sport with Tennessee victories, don't do Sterner.
I was going to say that,
nope.
but I'm just trying not to be negatively funny today.
I am. Let's see. I guess you could have what was it? Well, I guess last year. I don't know who you do it when Arkansas beat Tennessee in football last year.
Malachi Singleton, probably.
Yeah, give Malachi
Singleton to do the hype video.
Braylon Russell.
Yeah.
But the good thing, Curtis, the good thing about Clint Sterner is he redeemed himself and he made up for it the next year.
Yeah.
He completely erased that other one from existence.
Absolutely.
Like when I think about Clint Sterner to Tennessee, I think about 1999.
Me too.
Yeah.
Back to the chat. Let's see. Logan says DJ Wagner jersey tomorrow, please, John. I don't know. Like, I wore baseball jerseys last week and it went pretty well. So I feel like I got to wear what I wore last week.
Exact same clothes, exact same everything.
Yeah.
Watch the same video when you're by yourself. Do all that.
Yeah.
What now?
You just do all the same things you did last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When you go to the bathroom, you make sure that when you're sitting on the toilet, you go and check the same videos and TikToks. Have a saved list.
Same reels.
Yep, all those good things. So, all right. Well, it's a Freedom Friday again. We're here at Alumni Hall, folks. Still go online and check them out. InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall. Also use that promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your purchase. Coming here in store, 3417 North College Avenue, 20% off your purchase too. And we'll probably be doing the giveaway here towards the end of the show. But we also want to remind everybody that presented by our friends over at BetSaracen, the #1 sports betting app in the state of Arkansas. They got specials. In fact, guys, I had the specials written, or I had them because, at least on my phone, but my app has locked me out. It's one of those things where you forget your password too many times and stuff. So, but that's okay. But plenty of specials this weekend with Arkansas and Tennessee. Some of them I love though, like Arkansas Razorbacks under 0.5 total errors and opponent over 0.5 total errors, -250. If you want to bet on that.
That's just insanity. Like, why would you do that?
Everyone's like, man, I was looking for a lock of the week. That's a great one there. But I like the long shots, like Rocco Pepe. There you go, Rocco Pepe being there for plus 1100.
Kendall Diggs. There's multiple Kendall Diggs props over here.
Yeah,
over under 26.5 warm up throws into right field for Rocco.
Yeah, sheesh.
I like that.
I like the one though for plus 1200. The longest shots of Vahiva Aloy and Kuhio Aloy combined over 1.5 home runs.
I love that again because you only need really one of them to do it.
And it's one game, by the way. I didn't mean to make it. It's not for the weekend. Yeah.
Vahiva had a double homer game the other day. Kuhio Aloy's due. It's about time he hits the ball very far. He's also very capable of having a 2-homer game. I love that at 12-1, way more than I love some of those other ones.
Mm-hmm. Also, it's not a huge odds, but the first hit for Arkansas to be a double. Not a single, but a double. It's plus 165. Because I feel like Arkansas, man, it seems like, not to say they're just a double machine, but they definitely hit doubles at a lot higher clip than most people even realize. So
are they doing
I like the home run, too. Was that plus 650?
Yeah, plus 650 for home run. Plus 10,000 for no hits.
Is it plus money for Arkansas to not score in the first inning again? Because they were doing that all last weekend. I know the pitching's a little different now.
It only hit that one time, right?
Yeah. Arkansas team inning with most runs. Arkansas to score. Yeah, first inning, it's plus 125 is yes.
Okay.
Minus 165 no.
Yeah. I thought that might flip.
I might have to hit the yes. I'll just, whatever the plus odds are every time, I'm just going to hit that.
Yeah.
Well, same thing with here, the first pitch, which is going to be Tennessee throwing it. Arkansas throwing it, sorry. Ball is plus 135.
Yeah, I do that one every game.
I love first pitch ball. That's maybe my favorite bet.
Mm-hmm. And also, I'll always sprinkle a little bit on this one. Extra innings, if there'll be an extra inning, plus 1,200. That's a lot for extra innings in the supers.
I feel like game 2 is going to extras.
Yeah. I'll probably put just $5 on that.
I'll remind you Saturday night to put that. Game 2 going to extras. Put it in stone.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
And finally, you got this boost bet that they got going on with them, $100 max bet. But it's in here, Arkansas to win game 1 versus the Tennessee Volunteers at minus 150. So,
what's the actual spread? Minus
1.5.
And then minus 175 for that. Yeah, I guess I'd probably rather bet the minus 1.5 at plus odds or at plus 100. Minus 175. Interesting.
Yeah. Over under at 11.5. What do you guys think there?
I
think over.
I want to see what how the park's playing. You know, like we get there and it's like, you know, warm, sunny, and like the ball's carrying a little bit. I mean, these teams can hit, dude. And Marcus Phillips and Zach Root, most likely the matchup on the mound. Neither of those guys pitched particularly well against one another. I mean, when they played game one with that same pitching matchup, the final score was like 11-8 or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was crazy how that was. But either way, a lot of specials there for BetSaracen happening. Not only for game one, but they're going to be having them for all the weekend. So be sure to check them out at BetSaracen app. Also, I want to say shout out to also Big Lefty for becoming a member. So
Big Lefty.
Like that.
Yep.
Evan Taylor. Shout out to Evan Taylor.
I was going to say
Gotta
Curtis, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's the Big Lefty. Because why do they call it when? I think we've had this conversation when you're not left-handed or right-handed.
Ambidextrous.
Okay, so for some reason I thought that was when you were right-handed but left-footed. What's that called?
No, I think it's just when you're both. Like,
I think
ambidextrous
that's
is both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
is there a term for the right
I
hand,
thought so.
left foot thing?
I don't know. I'm left-handed, right-footed.
yeah, and I'm right-handed,
what are you?
left-footed.
I think he's just Curtis.
I think I'm just
Yeah.
He's just Curtis.
That's saying. If me and Curtis could, just like form a body, we could have we could be ambidextrous all around on our limbs. Be great.
We could just have a lot of dominant limbs.
Yeah. Just could have been that. Oh, jeez.
dude, if me and John could form a body, it'd be crazy.
That's the nicest way to put it.
That would create a lot more questions.
Yes, it would. It's what was it? I always reference NBA on TNT. Remember when they saw the big picture or video of Zion Williamson out there, and Chuck was like, "Looks like me and Shaq had a baby."
Yeah,
it's like it's kind of how it would be, man. Just this large humans there, but yeah, folks, it's a Freedom Friday here on Inside Arkansas live from Alumni Hall. So anything and everything you want us to get into, just throw it in the chat, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. We got Tennessee fans in here, so that's great.
Dude, Big Lefty's not even left-handed.
He's not?
Yeah, how are you the big lefty? You're not left-handed. Maybe his name is Byron Leftwich.
Yeah.
I think that's probably right.
Yeah.
Or, I'm trying to think of any other possible concept besides, being named Byron Leftwich of why he'd be called the Big Lefty. I'm going to embarrass myself, but I do that anyways. I had a nickname, guys, for about 2-3 years when I was in senior year of high school, and it was Shifty. And I had a hat made after it.
Shifty?
Shifty. And everyone asked me why, and it was because my first car, I was a Ford Ranger stick shift. And I don't know if you guys have ever driven a stick shift, but driving a stick shift in Fayetteville sucks pretty heavily. And they're like, you can't shift gears. There's shifty. Anyways, I remember telling my parents that, and they're like, yeah, that's not happening. You're not going to be going by that. And that was the only thing I ever got close to having a nickname. So,
fun
story.
Did you have a nickname, Andrew?
A-Train.
As a youngster?
A-Train?
Which came from 2K. And 2K11 specifically. I remember just making that my nickname on that because it was one of the options, and I was like, I like A-Train. Changed my Facebook name to Andrew A-Train Ellis.
Really?
And it caught on. There's a guy I went to high school with named Swade. He when he still sees me to this day, he calls me Train. He would just always call me Train. He wouldn't call me A-Train. And he'll just see me and be like, yo, Train, what's up, man? And I'm like, okay.
Love that.
What was because what do you think we talked about it once? Was it C-Dub or something?
Well, when I was in school, like high school age and everything, it was Tigger, like the Winnie the Pooh character.
Why
so
that?
I really walked on my toes, so I was just like bouncy all the time.
Interesting.
And yeah, so that was it in high school. But yeah, after that, it was C-Dub for the longest, and then I was Doc.
Doc.
Yeah,
That's always like a good classic name. Like just like, hey Doc. It's kind of like, hey, Hunk. There's just something rewarding about that.
I was working athletic trainer for Lindenwood football game, and the other team's medical staff thought I was the team doctor. Like, came and introduced themselves to me and was like, Doc. And then it just stuck from there. Which is crazy because I was like 22 at the time. I was like, I wish, dude.
Yeah, I
wish.
He's gone through medical school at the age of 22.
Yeah,
You're like Doogie
crazy.
Howser over here. Sharkansas, appreciate the super chat. Says, Ellis as a Louisiana boy, I'm expecting a Carter 6 review Monday after these games.
Listen, Lil Wayne is the best rapper that has ever walked this planet. And he's a legend.
Cosign.
And he's amazing. I love Lil Wayne. I grew up on him. The current version of what you're seeing is not Lil Wayne. This is Lil Wayne died about 9 years ago, and I don't know what's happened. He's had a few strokes. He's had some health setbacks, and so I'm sympathetic to his situation. I will not be reviewing the Carter 6 because it's just not the same. And a lot of this stuff he recorded like a decade ago, and he's just like throwing it out there. The last chapter of Lil Wayne's music career has kind of lost me a little bit.
So y'all think Lil Wayne's the greatest of all time?
I know he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying he's the best.
Love Lil
He's
Wayne.
not, listen, you can make a case for better artists, or, maybe I like this guy more, maybe I like this guy. In just terms of just ability to rap, Lil Wayne's, it's like far and away the best.
What's your counter?
Yeah, who's your guy you're thinking?
Eminem.
Good God. Good God, bro. Yeah, we had that whitest conversation the other day, like who's the whitest among us. That was the most
I hope
white boy
listening.
thing I've ever seen. I'm not afraid to take a stand. What the hell are you talking about, John?
Okay,
Eminem?
Who's had more longevity than Eminem?
Oh,
I don't know. A lot of people.
Like, who's had more?
Hell, even Lil Wayne, who's phoned in the last decade of his career, has had more longevity than Eminem.
I don't agree.
Pray that Kingsley's listening.
When's the last time Eminem's produced anything worth a damn? Like
what?
2008?
What are you talking about? Like, I thought that his album about 5 years ago was the one with
Eminem,
Monster on
dude.
it and Kill Shot and all that.
Eminem is one of the craziest things I've heard come out of a human being's mouth. The best rapper ever, bro. That was crazy, bro.
Yeah. Just
that was crazy. Eminem.
Oh, that's it. It's an opinion.
I thought you were going to go Tupac, Biggie, or like something.
No, I got
even Kendrick. Like if someone said Kendrick, I really wouldn't push back that hard. Like I like Kendrick. I wouldn't say he's the best, but it's like I could at least be like, okay, I could see the vision.
Man, I didn't think it was that controversial that I would say that. But
bro, you get slapped in Louisiana if you said that, bro. They would literally drown you in Cajun sauce.
Yeah. Well, sorry that Arkansas has not produced some big time rapper that I
Bryce
can follow.
Mitchell?
Yeah, it's just Hey, do you guys remember the Arkansas rap song? By the way, it was out way back. It was in 2008. Like just on YouTube. When you remember, there's people starting to really produce music. Greatest lyrics. I'm not going to rap it, but I'm going to tell you the lyrics. Above Louisiana, below the state of Missouri, right of Oklahoma, and the left of Tennessee, Arkansas.
Banger.
Yep. I did not. I was not familiar with that.
I'm 81% that I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it was something that was like a thing when YouTube first
Arkansas says it sucks.
Said what sucks?
The Arkansas song sucks.
Oh yeah, it does suck. Like it was terrible. That was like the only thing where I'm like, Arkansas. Understood that reference. That we were in a rap song. How great it was. Let's see. Donovan says, appreciate the super chat. Says, can't wait for this series. Arkansas is a top 5 environment in college baseball. This is awesome. These two teams should not be meeting in Supers. Go Vols. So it's a volunteer fan. Look at that. They do exist. They're nice. Appreciate the super chat. I mean, yeah, they shouldn't, but at the same time, like,
I would definitely appreciate this not happening now. And I've said this a lot. Like, I would much rather face the team that's overachieved all regular season, that's maybe not as talented, rather than the team that's underachieved, that's super talented. Like Tennessee's way better than the number 14 team in the country or whatever. But these assholes were sandbagging the second half of the season, and you play the cards you're dealt. It kind of sucks.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, it's going to be. I think it's higher than a top 5 environment in college. Not to say that I've just gone to every single place, but
I mean, 3 is probably where you need to start.
Yeah, I'd say 3.
Baum, Duty Noble, and Alex Box Stadium are on an echelon, and then it's like the biggest gargantuan gap of all time. And then you can start getting into some other ones. Swayze Field's probably in that mix a little bit. Texas is starting to kind of creep up there. But, yeah, Tennessee with their new renovations is starting to creep up there. But I think those top 3 are like the next closest stadium is like half the size of those 3.
If you're a baseball stadium and you have any turf in your place whatsoever, you are discounted completely. Yeah, you just can't have that.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Michael. Appreciate you. He says, Andrew, do you think Brent, Reese, or Justin hit a home run this weekend?
At least one of them, and probably 2 of them. Brent Iredale is like overly due for a home run. And I'm not even saying, hey, Brent Iredale is going to put it together and go 8 for 12 or anything. I mean, the guy tries to hit a home run every swing, so it's like at some point he's gonna. I feel like Brent Iredale could very well have one of those like 1 for 4 with a walk and just a 3-run nuke type of games.
He's gonna go. He's gonna go 1 for 4 for the entire series with a home run and 9 walks.
Yeah, and it'll get hit by a pitcher too. It'll be crazy.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah. Also, Whitty's coming in. Shout out to Whitty. Says we have 2 pretty good rappers from Winter. I don't know them, but sure we'll hear about it.
Are we trusting Whitty's ear for rap music.
I don't know. Whose ears can we trust, if not Witty's? You know?
Yeah.
Especially in our chat.
Yeah.
Let's see. Thank you, Jeff. Or no, not you. Jeff Gordon, the racer. I'm sure he looks like him at least. But he says Eminem is not a controversial take. Louisiana people think Neck is a great rap. That's true. That's true. Louisiana people, totally. It's a totally Louisiana thing.
Yeah, totally a state of Louisiana thing, and not a very specific section of heathens in Baton Rouge.
Heathens.
I mean, dude, there's some great rap in Louisiana. I had a buddy that went and saw Boosie on Easter Sunday. He went and saw Boosie and Webby were in concert in New Orleans. He went on Easter freaking Sunday. I don't know why they did a show on Easter Sunday, but he skipped church. And I remember I saw his dad at church, and he's like, yeah, Boston went down there to see Boosie and Webby, man. I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way.
Skipped out on Easter dinner, man.
Hey, but Kevin Gates really is probably my favorite artist ever, though. He's my favorite Louisiana rapper. Like, in terms of just rap artist.
Man.
Lil Wayne's a better, more talented rapper, but Kevin Gates is my guy, man.
My artist is, it's very controversial, but man, it's hard to beat old Kanye. I love that stuff, man.
Kanye's objectively one of the greatest musical artists of our generation.
Yes, and he'll tell you about it too. He'll let you know that he is. Because what was it that he did at that thing? He was just like named off all these great people like Ford, Gates, like Jobs, Disney, West. It's like he's just putting himself on there with like all the people that changed everything.
Has he been weighing in on the recent happenings on social media?
He has. I think he was like, "Hey, y'all stop fighting."
Yeah,
something like that.
Peace and love.
I saw Antonio Brown was so.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've got all the important takes out there.
Yeah.
Okay, Raw Hog says if Jones spits some hot bars, I'll donate $100 right now. Is that what kids say these days? Hot bars? No.
Maybe.
No, I don't know. I will say because you guys know I do karaoke on occasion. I've only karaoke'd 2 rap songs, and I'll tell you this: one of them you can probably guess, but if you guess both of them, I will give you a $5 bill. If you can guess,
I don't know if
even one of them.
What's the question?
I karaoke'd 2 rap songs in my life.
I feel like I should know this because I feel like we've talked about it.
I think
right?
you've told us.
Yeah. Gangster's Paradise.
No. I figured one of them was obvious because it just said he was the greatest rapper of all time. So surely I'd probably do something from him.
Okay. What's the Eminem song that people like to rap?
Mom Spaghetti.
Lose Yourself?
Lose Yourself. Thank
Okay.
you. That was one. I was going to tell you that one.
Yeah. Who's the artist?
It was Dre and Tupac, California Love.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I thought I could always do a really good Kanye or a really good Dr. Dre impersonation. I don't think I could.
Speaking of California, they used to play California Love anytime a California player would make a play at Arkansas, which nowadays is a lot. Now, I've noticed when Gabe Gackle gets a strikeout to an end inning, they play Hotel California.
Oh,
And it's electric.
how about that?
It's a great song.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the cliche thing when you have the Australian. Everyone's like, "Oh, they got to play I Come From a Land Down Under." You got to do that.
Yeah,
I was like, "You probably
I
hates
bet
that
Bernardo
song.
hates it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, you know what? Sometimes there's more songs that came from those areas than just those one songs. We're like, no, you got to play California Love. And sorry. Although I think Dominic Ficacello, I think his story said that they just said, "Hey, what about California Love?" He's like, I don't know. They're like, "No, how about California Love?" He's like, okay. So yeah. It's like, oh, we got a California kid. We've never seen one of those before. It was such a unique thing. So, yeah, the chat is off the rails as always. But I guess that's what happens when you start talking about rap music. And
this is probably the closest to on the rails a Friday show's ever been, honestly.
That's true because we're so locked in and dialed in for the Razorback Super Regionals this weekend. Oh yeah, Paddlefish just said, "Who are we rooting for in the Women's College World Series?" Because I guess it's Texas Tech tied at 1. So
then Texas Tech for sure, right?
Yeah, have to do that. So I don't even know, like, who asks that question? Like, come on now, is Texas Tech the like low key the greatest athletic department right now when it comes to spending money? Because man, I just feel like they're good in everything.
They do. Yeah.
They're just spending money in every sport, and they're doing pretty good in almost every sport. So got to give credit where credit is due. So
shout out to Chris Beard. Built the program up.
Yep.
Who was the old guy that replaced him there, but now is on a staff at Ole Miss? What was his name?
Mark Adams.
Yes, Mark Adams. So
he said things you can't say. got let go there.
Yeah, Texas Tech head coaches, they do things you can't do, and they say things you can't say.
Yeah. That's why I was surprised that Bob Huggins never coached there because I feel like he would have fit right in with everything going on. Man. Well, guys, again, we've been here live at Alumni Hall. Always love coming out here. I mean, it's always fun to especially get you ready for our big Razorback weekend, which it's hard to get a bigger weekend than this when it comes to super regionals and everything. They're going to be open all weekend, so be sure to come by and check them out and use that code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your purchase. They got everything. They got warm wear, they got cold wear, they got polos, they got hats, they got jerseys. They got anything and everything that you need. If you're coming in and you're like, man, I don't know what to wear. If you come in here, I guarantee you they have Razorback stuff that you can rock, and they'll be like
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. There's no orange in here. I don't see anything, at least. Oh, I was gonna know that. So just want to make sure before I start saying stuff. Like, well, these are actually this type of orange was here for the for some sort of cause that we had. None of that. Razorback red. They got it all right here at Alumni Hall. So come check it out. Again, shop them online, InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall. Use code HOGSBY20 for 20% off. So, fellas, any final thoughts before we roll out of here for the day?
Man, it was good to be back out here.
It is.
It did exactly what I thought it would. Set the vibes up strong for what's going to be an awesome weekend. Come see us at Foghorns. We're excited. It's going to be a great weekend.
Woo damn pig.
Hog is strong.
Yep. Hog is strong. And boots. Yeah, I just had it stuck in my head last night, and I really wish it wasn't, because then I started feeling a little weird about it. But either way. Don't. Yes. Oh, well, we got a final super chat at the witching hour here.
At the buzzer.
Appreciate John Pigman the Fourth. Said, everyone be loud this weekend. Even if you are at home, there is no discharge in the war. Boots.
Hell yeah,
That's
brother.
right. That's right. But yeah, we appreciate all of you listening in, tuning in. Appreciate Alumni Hall for letting us come out here and making it possible. And again, we're going to be at Foghorns pregame, postgame for the Super Regional games right there across from Baum Walker Stadium this weekend for the bombastic pregames and postgame show. So that'll do it for us here live from Alumni Hall. For Andrew Ellis as well as Curtis Wilkerson, I am John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel. Next Monday, have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you at Foghorns for the Super Regionals. Enjoy yourselves.